The Detective Comics 1107, Tom Taylor writing with Pete Woods now on art for this arc, seemingly. And this starts a new arc, and it's Gotham's new Trinity starts here, as the cover promises us. So we know that Green Arrow and Black Canary are going to feature. And the plot of this issue, well, there's a couple things going on here. One's like a build up at the end of this character from Batman and Green Arrow's past, who confused me because I was like, am I meant to know who this is? Because it seems like it's a new character that's not been in comics before. But the other thing is that there's a whole, there's these witnesses who are going to testify, and 2 of them turned up dead, even though it looked like natural causes. Obviously, it's very suspicious. Right. So Batman's been looking into that, and Green Arrow and Black Canary end up in the city. So the opening scene is actually the death from a week ago of one of these witnesses who was going to testify, and they just drop dead like they're having a heart attack, and that's basically it. And then flash forward to present day. There's a corrupt cop shaking down someone in an alley for their belongings, and Green Arrow comes in, stops the cop, shoots him in the hand with an arrow, and then the twist here is that the homeless guy turns around and says, "Oliver, you dick, I'm undercover. Why are you ruining this? I need that corrupt lieutenant to be doing his job so that I can, he'll lead me to whatever else." And it's like, shit, Batman, is that you? So we get a whole comedy sequence here.
Yeah, I love the way, just in this issue, that Taylor's gotten the dynamic between Bruce and Ollie. And that Ollie takes this cop and throws him in the trunk of the Arrow car. Right? Like he's not playing around. And then once Bruce starts to take off like the fake beard or whatever, that's when it like sinks in. And then he goes, "How was I supposed to," or he goes, "In your city, I don't see your name on it." And it goes to like this big sign that says Wayne with Batman, standing in front of it for effect. And Ollie's just like, right. And so, yeah, just the acerbic Oliver Queen up against this version of Batman I like.
Yeah, they also is like, hey, we have to like make it seem like he got away on his own so that he's not suspicious. So we get like a little quick scene of him like getting out of the back of the car and running for it.
Yeah.
So, it's the whole thing. Chemistry there's very good. They also tie in the fact that they're basically mourning Wildcat from his death in JSA. Dinah's inherited his gym in Gotham, so the Bat family and the Arrow family, I guess we'll call them. I never used that phrase before, but technically I guess that's what we'll call them.
Yeah.
Both go to the gym, so we get Babs, Cass, Steph, Tim, Dick, no Jason, right?
No Jason. Oh. It makes me wonder about that, that Red Hood book that got deleted, basically. So I wonder if that they were, trying to make him set apart from the Bat family. So of course he wouldn't be here.
Well, maybe, I don't know. But you've also got obviously
these are
Oliver, Roy, and Connor are there as well. And then Bruce is going to fight Dinah with no contact, but first to knockout. And someone says, "Wait, how are you going to judge who's winning if you're not actually hitting each other?" And like, oh, Cass can see all of her moves and know if we hit, so Cass will just judge it. So we get this like big 2-page layout of Cassie's head watching as like the fight's playing out around her head, and Dinah wins, by the way.
Yeah, I can't imagine this being actually fun to watch because you're just watching 2 people spar. So the way that they did it here in the comic, I think it works better than if it was in live action.
I think if you did this in live action, you'd basically have to show what Cass is seeing, so you'd show a real fight.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't obviously really be fighting in the context of the scene. I think that's how you'd have to do it. But I mean, it really sells the family dynamic of everything.
The fact that Taylor's building up Cass, like Cass, you have to ref because you can see the hits before they happen, and it kind of sets her aside because it's really building up who's a better fighter, Dinah or Batman. And we all know that Cass, I feel like Cass would wipe the floor with both of them, right?
I think so.
So making her the impartial, I do like that.
Yeah. And at the end of the scene, like Batman's narration is like, we all know we're thinking about one person. And I'm like, oh, who are they talking about? And they tease it so much over the last several pages, like, because Bruce, Dinah, and Oliver go to a grave, and they're talking about whoever this is. Like, oh, it's an accident. It could have happened to any of us, and they're really building it up, and it's all very weird and mysterious. And then like this girl shows up, who's kind of not lost per se, but she's there to see the grave. She knows who this is.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly her father, maybe. I don't know if they're teasing that.
That's what I'm taking it as.
Yeah. And then, you know, they're like, hey, you almost, you know, and then this car comes swooping in. It's like security who are looking for the girl, and Oliver's ready to like fight them and say, hey, you're speeding in a graveyard and blah blah blah. And then, you know, then this older woman comes out and like gets the girl and, you know, says, oh, hey, we'll drive out of here properly. You know, don't worry, blah 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 blah. But basically it's just very proper and polite with them. And that's kind of it. Although, funnily enough, once they show up, Bruce disappears. He pulls a Batman act, and Oliver's like, really? Son of a bitch? You're just going to disappear?
Yeah. I like how he comes up from behind a tree. He's like, I heard. You know, so he does a very Batman thing, too. But, like, the way that they're going on about this guy with how familiar Ollie was with him, because when the girl says, did he smile? And I was like, yeah, he did. A lot. I didn't know him as long as I would have liked, but he was a good guy to be around. He was fun.
Yeah.
Like, who the hell are they talking about?
Yeah, and so I'm like, okay, surely they're going to reveal this in the last page, right? They're going to build up to this. And Bruce hears all this, and he's going to go look into who, you know, what this girl and this woman's connection is to this, whoever this is. And we get to the last page, and it's like, okay, Bruce is, you know, stepping out from behind the tree, and it's like, okay, after all this time, someone has come to claim Preon.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Preon? Who the F is Preon?
Great question. Now, I know what a prion is in biology.
Sure. Okay.
Don't think that has anything to do. Like a prion is a piece of a, like, you end up with like prion diseases. So like mad cow disease was a prion disease.
Okay.
Where these pieces of protein detach and cause problems. Never heard of it used in like a name here.
Yeah. And notably, the gravestone says it doesn't. He's unknown. It says we never knew his name, but we knew his heart. He was a hero, something. And it's like, okay, all right. So publicly, no one knows who this guy is. Maybe these three know who he is, but for whatever reason, they didn't like make that a public knowledge thing when he died. Okay, so it seems like this is a new thing that they're putting into like this backstory of these three characters here, of this person who tragically died in their early crime fighting days or whatever. So I don't know what to expect from that. I mean, I like this issue. I thought it set up the case that they're working on up front fairly well. The chemistry between Batman and Oliver was fun enough, and I particularly like the gym stuff, the Wildcat Jim stuff. I thought was very good and played into like the history of the characters and all that. And then the ending's a little intriguing, but I'm like, okay. I mean, I'm always a little bit iffy about inserting stuff into the backstories. It feels weird that we've never heard about this character if it was this big a deal. But what I will say though is the art is a downgrade, and it's not that Pete Woods is bad, but
it's just not Yannon.
Yeah, it's not Yannon. Particularly, I'm not super keen on the way he draws faces. That's the part where it feels kind of weak to me. So I was really noticing it, especially since a lot of the scenes in this issue, like I couldn't help but think, all that stuff at the gym when they're all like, feeling they're all kind of like respecting Wildcat's memories and are having this kind of fight in his honor and all that. I'm like, this would probably really slap if we had a great artist who did great faces here to really sell these moments.
His Damien looks a little bit weird. Like he's stuck in between transformations. And also I do like that Damien tries to step up to Black Canary when it's like, oh, who's in a box? And Bruce is like, Damien, sit down. So I thought that was a fun little moment. But yeah, the art's not as strong as I would have wanted, but I did like that sequence where they're boxing, but they're not hitting each other. They're not making contact. And Cass is watching. I thought that was probably the strongest art in the issue. And I do like some of the stuff at the cemetery as well. you know, but yeah, it was definitely a weird. Is it felt familiar, but it felt off just enough that it was causing me some conflict.
Yeah, yeah. But it's interesting because the girl, just to go back to this Prion or Prion mystery, the girl, like when they ask, "Do you know him?" She says his headstone says hero. I don't think he was a hero. And Dinah says, "Do you know him?" And she says, "I thought I did." And then that's when she asked, "Did he smile?" And Oliver says he did a lot. And she's like, "Oh, I wish I'd seen that." So it's like, okay, and I don't. This is the thing. If this is the girl, like if she is the daughter of whoever this was, potentially, she's not that old. So it's kind of like putting into question exactly how long ago this was. And it would make sense though that she's asking questions about a father that she didn't really get to know, potentially. Yeah. But why does she think he wasn't a hero though? That sounds like a very negative thought to have about someone you've not really met.
Ollie goes, "How did you find him?" And she's like, "I found some old newspapers in my house. Someone had put his picture in the paper looking for anyone who knew him for his funeral." And then he goes, "What was he to you?" And she goes to answer, and Diana's like, "Ollie." And that's when the car busts through the gates. So yeah, I don't think it's going to be maybe cut and dry as we think, because I feel like the way that they're talking about him, like Ollie's like, "Oh, he really loved you, pretty bird." And she goes, "I know." And so there's all sorts of, weirdness going on. And the fact that I think Ollie says, like, yeah, the four of us are supposed to take on the world. So it was Bruce, Dinah, Ollie, and this mystery.
Yeah, like the idea that they thought he was equal to them and like some sort of four-way partnership is intriguing. Yeah. So
and then called him Flight Squadron Delta, and I was like, okay, this is weird.
It definitely feels like there's a weird mystery to unravel here. Like almost like there's maybe even to them there's a mystery of who he really was or something, and like this is why they're so fascinated by this turn of events and someone showing up to kind of like, as they said, claim him finally. That was the word they used, claim him. So
yeah,
intriguing, if nothing else. All right, Matt, what are you giving Detective Comics?
I'm gonna give this a 7.5.
Yeah. I'll just go with a 7. I think the art being a downgrade, and then I'm not sure how to feel about this mystery at the end yet. I don't dislike it, but I just don't know how I feel about it yet.